Welcome to Coffee Chat. Mama's happy today because I've got pumpkin spice creamer in my coffee, and it feels like fall outside. Yay, I'm so excited. All right, so it is Wellness Week on Coffee Chat, and I'm going to revisit a topic today that was one of the most popular, it was the most popular coffee chat I've ever done. All right. And not just because we talk about sex, but hey, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about that today. So more specifically, I'm going to be talking about that. So this is going to be a really vulnerable coffee chat. And the reason that this one I think was so popular is because, number one, there aren't a lot of people out there talking about it. So this is always super weird for me because I meet people in real life and I know they watch this stuff and I'm like, oh, they know all this stuff about me. So anyway, yes, we are going to be talking about sex today. But more importantly, I'm going to be sharing with you some information about my journey with hormone replacement. So I shared a coffee chat here, I want to say last fall. It's probably been about a year, maybe more, about bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And this is something I've been doing for the past 4 years. And I don't think there's a lot of information out there about it because it is relatively new. But it is something that I still get questions about, at least on a weekly basis. The video that's over on YouTube about this, we took the coffee chat and put it over there, has been one of my most watched YouTube videos of all time. So I know there aren't a lot of people out there talking about it and giving information, and like disclaimer up front, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. So everything that I say today is about my own personal experience, my own journey with hormone replacement and the difference it's made in my life. So as with anything with your health and any decision that you make, please talk to your doctor, do your own research, see if this is right for you. I've had a lot of women who've done it since I've talked about it. We've had mixed results. For the most part, overwhelmingly, they've been good, but it does vary from person to person. So I promised you we were going to talk about sex, right? So let's get to that part. All right, so if you're new around here, you missed the first video. I did get really vulnerable about something that many women don't talk about, and that is loss of sex drive. So after I had our youngest daughter, which has been 15 years ago now, mine went away and never came back. So at first I was thinking, okay, it's because my pregnancy hormones are all over the place. Everything's going to be fine. But it wasn't that. And then I thought, well, it's because I breastfed with her for so much longer than my other two kids. And, you know, it takes like 2 years for your body to fully recover from pregnancy. So I was thinking maybe that's what, you know, kept things from not coming back. But it wasn't that either. So I started investigating this, you know, doing some research on it. I talked to my family doctor about it, which was really hard. And I find a lot of us struggle with telling our doctors about this, like, how do you even approach this topic? I tried sliding into it from different angles and saying, you know, I think my hormones might be messed up. And then, you know, before finally disclosing what the real problem was. And my doctors were kind of dismissive, if I'm going to be honest, at the time. And I think that was the hardest part, was that they weren't really listening to me and hearing me. And they would brush it off and say, you're a mom with young kids, you have a busy life, you've got a career, you've got all this stuff going on, this is totally normal. And I'm thinking, no, I don't think this is totally normal. Like, I don't even think about sex anymore, okay? So, you know, this time keeps going by and going by. I'm continue to feel frustrated. Finally come to a point of acceptance that this is just not going to be a part of my life anymore. Like, I don't know what else to do. I even had a doctor tell me to go talk to a therapist. So I did. I went to talk to a therapist. I'm like, what is going on? This is gone. And she's like, well, after we had a few sessions, she said, I don't think there's a psychological issue for this. Yes, you're stressed out. Yes, you're busy. Yes, you have young kids. But that's not enough to just completely make you not even think about it anymore. I think this is a biological thing. So long story short, and you can hear more about this story in the other coffee chat. I'm not going to spend tons of time on this, but, you know, things started to, in my relationship with my husband, it was tough because he didn't thoroughly understand what was going on. I didn't thoroughly understand what was going on. So there was a lot of feelings of rejection on his part, not understanding, you know, he's not feeling attractive anymore to me. And even though I reassured him over and over again that this was my problem, not his, it still was hard because that's, you know, sex is a significant part of marriage and it helps you feel close and connected and bonded. And when it was happening, I was just going through the motions, and he knew that. I mean, they can tell, right? So that really was the thing for me that kept me pushing. And if you take nothing else from this coffee chat today, I want you to know this. Always, always advocate for your health. If something doesn't feel right, if it's affecting your quality of life, keep pushing for solutions and looking for answers. And if you go to doctors who are dismissive or who, you know, try to blame it on something else when you know in your gut what's going on, then continue pushing. Go to a different doctor, look for other solutions, and don't accept the answers, because this does affect quality of life and you do deserve to feel good. And maybe it's not loss of sex drive that's prompting you to, you know, look into this. Maybe you're having some other perimenopause or premenopausal type of stuff happening that you could benefit from hormone replacement therapy. So whatever it may be, just continue to push, continue to advocate, and don't give up, because there is a solution out there and it's too important not to keep looking for it, okay? All right, so I want to specify too that bioidentical hormones are not synthetic hormones. So I know there's a lot of controversy, some mixed studies and research that went on with unopposed estrogen, and this was synthetic estrogen that's created in labs that was given to women years ago, and there was a link between it and some cancers. So the bioidentical hormones that I'm talking to you about today are naturally derived, and they mimic what your body creates. So you can do a little bit more research on that. I'm not going to get into all the specifics of that, but know that this is not the same as the synthetic hormones from years ago. So anyway, back to my story. Okay, so I went into my gynecologist for my annual 4 years ago, and they gave me this form to fill out whenever I came in, and it had all of these hormone indicators in it. And I want to say I got the form because I'm over 40, but maybe they're giving this to other people too. I don't know. Anyway, the form was basically a hormone assessment for me to self-assess different symptoms that I may be having due to hormone fluctuations. And there were things like, you know, insomnia, weight gain, sex drive, of course, was on there, and some other factors too. And there was a scale from 0 to 5. And on that piece of paper, I went through and checked everything, and my sex drive was a 0. So that was like the blinking light on the page that whenever I took it in and talked to my doctor, you know, that made it easy for us to open that dialogue and that conversation. So I didn't have to feel as embarrassed about this. And honestly, like, this isn't something to be embarrassed about. Like, if I want you guys to be able to talk to your doctors and be open about it, but this really just helped to open that dialogue. And she and I started talking about it. And honestly, at that time, I didn't even know that women needed testosterone. I had no idea. And so she said, well, I suspect that from your page, your testosterone levels might be low. Here are some things that we can do about this. We can run some blood work and check your levels. And I also offer pellet therapy for these types of issues. So if this is something you're interested in, we'll go ahead and get your blood work ordered. We'll talk about this next time you come in. We'll review your results, and you can make a decision if you want to do this. So she calls me a couple days later and says, your testosterone levels are almost at 0, which could explain completely exactly what you have going on. And she asked me a few other questions, like, have you been, you know, feeling really tired lately, or struggling, you know, with weight gain, or, you know, some other symptoms that I might be experiencing. And yes, I was having all the other symptoms too. It wasn't just the sex drive thing. It was all this other stuff, which of course I chalked up to, you know, lifestyle and busyness and stress and all that stuff. So we went ahead and made an appointment. She explained to me the process of getting the pellet therapy done. And I got my first pellet a couple weeks later. I was super nervous. So the pellet does go under the skin, and I'm going to explain the process to you in a few minutes. I'm also going to give you an update. So if you guys have already watched my other coffee chat and you know all this stuff, I want to update you on where I'm at 4 years later with things, and what I've decided to continue with going forward. All right. So The process is that she makes a tiny little incision on your upper hip. So just think like the very top part of your butt where, you know, there's a little bit of fat there. And when I say tiny incision, I mean like tiny, tiny incision. And they numb it first with a little shot. You feel a little pinch. And then of lidocaine, I think is what she numbs it with. Then she makes the tiny incision and pops the pellet into that incision, puts a little butterfly bandage on it, which you have to keep on, I think, at least the first 24 hours, or is it 3 days? I don't remember. Your doctor will tell you if you go in to do this. But it's a little bit sore afterwards, nothing major. You may feel a little bit of it during the procedure itself, but it takes less than 5 minutes. And for me, it's totally worth the pain. Sometimes I don't feel anything at all other than the pinch from the numbing shot. Sometimes I feel a little bit of the incision, but otherwise it's not really a big deal at all. So that's the process. She puts the pellet in, and your doctor will determine based upon your blood work exactly what you need. Maybe you would benefit from some estrogen or some progesterone or testosterone or all three. Your blood work is going to show that. So I'm still good on the other hormones right now. We do check that periodically. I think I go in once a year just to kind of get everything checked out. And so far I've only needed the testosterone. How long does it take to kick in? Around 2 weeks the first time you get it done. So I want to say mine took the full 2 weeks the very first time that I got it done. Now it seems to take a little less time. Maybe that's because I still have testosterone in my system when I get it done and I'm not starting at ground zero like I was before. But it generally takes about 2 weeks. Dosage wise, your doctor's going to determine this. I will give you a tip. Go conservative whenever you go in your first time. If your doctor does not have a conservative mindset, then I would definitely push for that. And the reason I say this is because I've had several friends who've done it, and some of them did not go to a doctor. They went, well, I guess they were doctors, but they went to some other places that weren't as reputable or had as much experience doing the pellet therapy. So really do your research on this. But the dosage amounts that they got were higher. And I think that when you're first starting out and you just bombard your system with the hormones, you're bound to have more side effects that way. So if you're able to start out on the conservative side and then build up over time, I would say that that's probably the best thing to do. But again, talk to your doctor. I started conservatively, and then we have over time increased the dosage to make it more therapeutic as my system got used to it, etc. Okay, so how often do you need to do it? I go about every 3 months for mine. This last time I went in, my blood work was done for my yearly, and my levels were a little on the high side, so we're allowing more time now between. I think I was doing every 16 weeks, and now we're going to spread that out a little bit more and see how things go with spreading the dosage out a little bit. So how much does it cost? So it is expensive. Insurance does not cover it. It is around $350 for me, and that's just, I'm in the Dallas area. I think that's kind of a common amount that most people pay around here, but you will have to, you know, talk to your provider and find out how much that's going to be. I think I had to pay for the blood work too. I'm not positive, but the initial blood work, I'm pretty sure I paid out of pocket, and that was around $150. So this is something you do need to budget for. If it's something that feels good and you're loving it and you want to continue with it, just know that there will be some cost associated with that in order to keep going with it. So, you know, I've heard from a lot of you who have reported life-changing results from doing this therapy, and I am here to tell you that I have experienced life-changing results from this. You know, within 2 weeks, I started to feel more positive. I started to have more energy. You know, just my outlook on life in general was better. I was building muscle easier, not like man-sized muscle, but I struggled to build muscle before. I think I build and retain it easier whenever I'm doing the pellets. I burn fat easier. I've noticed that's another thing. I know initially a lot of you reported in the beginning you gained a little weight with the pellets, and then over time you started to lose weight. Same thing happened with me. I'm not sure why. I know that when I had my first pellet, I retained fluid, a lot of fluid for the first week or so. And I called my doctor and I was like, what is going on? And she said, totally common. It happens. And I want to say that that only happened with my first 1 or 2 pellets, and I've been doing them for 4 years. So that's something that did go away. Most of the side effects do. although I've had a few that haven't, and I'm going to talk to you about those in a minute. And the million-dollar question, sex drive. Yes, it came back. It is a part of my life again, and a wonderful part. And I am just so happy and so grateful every single day that my doctor offered this to me, that we were able to open the dialogue about it, that I kept pushing for answers, and rediscovering a part of my life that I honestly thought was gone forever. And, you know, it's not making me walk around like all the time, like, ooh, baby, you know, wanting it or whatever, but it does make you more responsive. And that's the best way that I can describe how it affects your drive. So if anyone else has had this happen and you want to weigh in and talk about the ways that it's affected you, then I would absolutely love if you could keep the conversation going about this and talk about some of the benefits as well as the side effects that you've had from it. But the side effects have been minimal, and they're things that I can usually deal with for the most part. So in the beginning, my main side effect was I would get really irritable and agitated, and that is a common side effect. It has lessened significantly over time. The longer that I do it, I don't really get that side effect at all anymore, but just know that that's something that can happen when you first get it. I would say I'm more assertive now, but not in a bad way. I don't think it was overboard by any stretch of the imagination, but I do feel more assertive now. The biggest side effects that I've had that have been problematic have been, I started over time to get a lot of hormonal breakouts on my chin and my neck and on my back. I also started to have some unwanted hair growth, specifically in my chin area. So over time, you know, I talked to my doctor about it, and she does have, you know, they have solutions for this. There are androgen blockers. I am taking one now, which helps out a lot. I still get occasional breakouts, but it has significantly lessened the side effects from it. Some people experience hair loss with this, but the androgen blocker also helps with that. So I haven't really had much of an issue with that. But overall, the side effects are minimal. They're not anything that are a deal breaker for me. If you're having a lot of them in the beginning, talk to your doctor and tell him or her about them. And there's possibly something that you can do to help out with that. So, you know, after 4 years, not a lot's changed. I don't get the same big uplift that I had in the beginning. Side effects have smoothed out for the most part in most areas. But I have no plans to stop doing the pellet therapy. And, you know, I feel like the benefits have far, far, far outweighed any side effects. And I know that this is a newer therapy, so do your research on it and find out if this is right for you. I am not paid or endorsed in any way by the manufacturer of my pellet, who is BioT Medical, BIOTE medical.com is where you can get more information. But I do encourage you to go to their website, and you can put in your zip code or your address, I'm sure, and find out if there's a provider near you that does bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. And if you're having some symptoms that you think are hormone related, then absolutely look up a provider in your area and make an appointment and go talk to them. You don't have to live with this. You can have better quality of life. And there's no reason why we should have to compromise when there are solutions out there that can make us feel better. So please, I urge you to advocate for this and to know that this is not something that you do have to live with the rest of your life. And I can tell you from experience that it can be life-changing if it works out for you. So check it out, biotemedical.com, BIOITE medical.com, and let me know if this is something that you're going to explore, or if you have any questions. I'm always an open book about this, so please ask away. There's nothing too embarrassing. I have gotten some PMs that have been extremely personal on this topic, and I am happy to give you the answers to that if that's what you're looking for. So thanks for tuning in today, and I will see y'all back here next week. I hope you have an awesome weekend. Bye.